Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to the latest episode of the Rich and Turbo Heavy Half Hour. My name's Rich. You can find me on X at FuzzDoomRip, all the socials at rich.piva, and doing reviews from Musepedia of Metal as a Doom Charts contributor and all sorts of other places. Turbo, how are you, Turbo, from the Void? How you doing?
Having a sense of deja vu.
Me too, but it's a good one. It's a good version of deja vu, because here we are, talking to Hamilton, Ontario, Canada's Pale Horse Ritual. We have Paco and Will with us, and we're super stoked to talk to them because we're lucky enough to hear their new record that's coming out. I want to say soon, but not soon enough for the greedy people who want to continue to hear awesome music. But via Blackthorn Productions, we're going to have a new record from these guys on November 28th. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. You're great. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. So the new record,
Right.
it's called Diabolic Formation, and Turbo and I have not stopped listening to it. And I know you guys have kind of gone through some changes as a band, name change, member change, but can you tell us what's going on? What's going on with Pale Horse Ritual? What are we going to see in the next few months from you guys?
Well, we're, like you said, we're just about to put out this album. We've been working on it, I guess, since when do we start? September, October. Yeah, so this album's coming out in November. We're going on a little tour in September, doing Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal. Yeah, we're excited to put this album out. Our new single came out a few weeks ago. So, yeah, here we are.
Awesome. Which song was the single again? I'm lucky enough to have heard the whole record, but which is the single?
It's called Wickedness.
Nice. Okay. Excellent choice. Excellent choice for that single. So one of the things that Turbo and I have noticed is the amazing sound of this record. And we know Will has been involved in recording and was recording this. And the question I was going to ask was, who is the wizard who made the record sound like this? Because it sounds freaking amazing. How fuzzy it is, how evil it is, just the tone of the whole thing. Will, what did you do? What kind of magic potion or what kind of crossroads did you meet, somebody at to make this record sound like it does?
Just a lot of recording over the past years, where I'm kind of ironing things out, and I use Logic Pro. I try to keep it as analog as I can while still using a digital DAW. And yeah, I mean, it was pretty easy because the songs were already pretty well written and pretty well done, and obviously to have amazing players in the band like doing their part, I just had to make sure I captured it in the best way I could. I'm pretty proud of how it came out. I'm glad that you guys like it too. Just spending a couple extra minutes at the start putting microphones in places that sound good. Try not to rely too much on trying to fix things in the mix, and just letting the songs do what they needed to do and sounding big as and friggin' heavy as they can,
Yeah. There's this line between like heavy and fuzzy that you go way to the left on in the best possible way. Like I just love the way that this record sounds, and it just connects immediately. I think when I first listened to it, I got a five fire emoji note from Turbo. So big fans of what we're hearing and of this record. I have some questions specifically on some songs, but Turbo, what do you have for the guys to start, as I usually dominate the first 5 or so minutes of the interview?
Who hates the church?
Oh yeah, there's definitely a theme. There's a theme to this record for sure. I mean, yeah, absolutely. That's an excellent question, Turbo. Excellent question.
I was afraid of that. I was thinking here, how do I dance around these questions? I'm pretty stuck in my ways, and I have some pretty alternative beliefs, and I'm not condemning anyone. Obviously can do whatever they want. It just doesn't work for me. So I have some pretty alternative views on the world and religion, being brought up a certain way and didn't like it as I got older. And so we're always walking that thin line of controversy. Try not to offend anybody, I guess, but yeah, we're pretty anti-establishment, anti-religion, anti-government, if you want, rebels.
Hmm. I understand. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's an interesting time for that in both of our countries, I would say, right now, of
yeah,
all the
yeah.
stuff
There's a
that's
lot
going
of
on.
crazy stuff happening, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about just believing in yourself and being an individual.
Yeah.
Really.
Right.
And are you,
Yeah.
Paco, are you doing most of the writing lyrically on this, or is this a kind of a
Yeah.
group effort? Or
No, it's me, lyrically. Yes.
okay, and I was going to ask what your influences are in your writing, but it sounds like current events, kind of growing up, the things about that you just mentioned. Anywhere else where you pull from to get some of your influences?
Well, a lot of books. I read a lot of books. I have over the years, so I'm always learning. And I mean, lyrics have become my favorite part of the creative process these days. Like I really have a lot of fun with it and look forward to writing them. And this album was a real fun album to write. So I mean, I can just sit there and get high or something. I could just pull. I have this endless place where I could just pull from. It just it comes easy to me actually in my older age. It's fun.
That's lucky that you have that level of creativity. And some people will get stumped after just maybe a couple songs. I think that your creativity in your lyrics on this one, kind of off the charts. Just great stuff. Specifically, want to ask you about my favorite track, and that is right now. I want to say DED or Dead, or I'm not sure how you want to pronounce it, or maybe either way, whatever I want to do. But uh,
It's a play on words that we did. It's called Dead. Then we just played with it and called it DED for. We must have been really high or something. I don't know.
It was a Homer Simpson's moment, like SMRT, smart, DED, dead.
oh, the amount of times I use that in my work life is yeah, I can't even count. Uh, am I hearing keys in that song too? Is there and where did that come from, and who's playing that? Because I think there are maybe two songs where I'm hearing some keys.
Yeah, there are some keys kind of sprinkled throughout the record. On DED and the final song, A Beautiful End, that's my cousin Dominic from Montreal. He's a just unbelievable musician, and he came down to Hamilton for a visit, and we were kind of in the middle of recording and weren't really thinking about really using him at all. And then on the last day, we were kind of like, "Do you hear anything maybe you want to throw on here?" And then we just kind of let him run, and he did a great job with it. He also provided us with some backing vocals on DED and A Beautiful End. And yeah, it was cool. We used some organ. I have a mid 70s Italian string synthesizer that we used on that as well.
Very cool.
Yeah, just trying to be a little bit different, trying to push the boundaries a little. It's not every day you hear bands that are, I would say as heavy as we are that kind of utilize keyboards. Obviously, there's some great bands that do. Like from around here, there's a band called Ivy Gardens. They are amazing at being crazy heavy and including, organs and stuff in their sound. But just something to be a little bit different, try to separate us from the bunch, and yeah, just trying to make it as heavy and cool and weird as we can.
Me and Will we're major gearheads, so we're always on Kijiji and Facebook Marketplace. We're constantly buying vintage gear, and that's probably some of the reason that the album sounds the way it does, because we dabble with a lot of old awesome instruments, amps, and every guy sort of has their own specific sound. Like James has a pretty unique guitar system he uses, and he's pretty particular on what he uses and what pedals, and a lot of it is vintage. So that's kind of what's given it that, hopefully, that nice 70s old heavy metal kind of sound, right?
Oh
But
yeah,
with a bit more of the modern heaviness that we can do with modern day production that they didn't really have that back then. Um, yeah, just and a lot of the weirder stuff too, like you know a lot of the vintage stuff we have, it's not really stuff that other people have. It's more unique. They're weirder. You usually find them for like less than $500, which is always great. So like tiny little ampegs and little PVs and weird pedals and old synthesizers that half work and just whatever we can find that's gonna make it sound cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished with that, and that's probably exactly what I'm hearing. Like the modern production with those older instruments, because I don't think you can make a record sound like yours does with just regular, the orange amps that people are using that are awesome, but like everyone uses them, and you have all
Yeah.
this other stuff, and I don't think you can make the sound that you guys make without some of that unique stuff. And I think that's probably where Turbo and I are kind of our ears perk up at the way this record sounds.
Don't get us wrong, we love orange, and we did use
Of
a lot of
course,
orange on the record as
of
well.
course, yeah, yeah,
But it's that familiarity in conjunction with something that you're like, what the hell am I hearing?
yeah.
It's those two things together that I think make it very interesting and kind of what I strive for when it comes to production.
Very cool. Turbo, what else you have for the guys?
Who, well, one, the song "Save You." Is there a longer version? Because I love that song. And who's singing? And also, at the end, who's chuckling?
Who's what? Who's juggling? That's
Yeah.
it's funny you say that. If there's a longer version, we did initially record it as much longer, but we were running out of space on the record, and we kind of saw it more as an interlude than a full track.
I told you to make
I know, so I edited it down so that we wouldn't go over our time and be able to put it out on vinyl. But there is a version, I guess, that is about 5 minutes long. I think 5.5.
I smell
Yeah,
a
that's
7-inch B side coming out at some point.
that's me singing, and that one was kind of a left field one we experimented with, and everyone liked it. So yeah, it's definitely kind of the oddball of the album. But again, we're trying to be. We don't want to be a one trick pony kind of band, right? So we're going to be probably experimenting a lot as the years go on, and that song lyrically is pretty. It's pretty serious. It's about people struggling with mental health and suicide and the dark side of drugs and hard living and a lot of things people are struggling with these days. So
But it also serves as like what Sabbath used to do back in the day with like a Planet Caravan or an Embryo, where
Yeah.
you put something a little bit lighter sonically into the mix, and it just makes everything else sound way heavier than
Yeah.
it really should. But it
Yeah.
it helps.
that was our attempt at a Planet Caravan.
Hey,
We argued a
fits.
lot on
How much
my fluttering vocal effects. That
how much rotary is too much rotary?
You wouldn't believe how much fighting I had to do with this guy to.
well, it's
It's a lot of yin and yang. He likes to push, and I like to say, whoa, maybe take a step.
An old married couple already.
Yeah.
but I want to kind of double down on that because I think when we had a bit of a false start on the interview, and I think we started talking about how Will kind of joined the band, and it's an interesting story based on what I'm seeing just on the Black Throne website. But how did the connection with you and the guys happen, where you're kind of an official member of the band now, where it didn't seem like that was how it all started out?
It was never the initial intention. I do play in two other bands locally around here. I play drums in a doom band called Sun Below, and then I sing and play guitar in a more stoner rock band called the Electric Cactus. And I've been plagued with constantly playing in a third band on top of those and joining and leaving and joining and leaving. And I told the guys I was never going to do that again. And then I got approached to be the producer on the Pale Horse thing. It was initially pitched to me as just doing a demo, And then after we finished that demo session, Paco just said to me, "This was great. You're going to be recording our EP for us. And by the way, that's the first single done. Go get it mixed." I was like, okay, that's pretty wild. So that turned out to be Wickedness. And then a few weeks later, okay, the EP is now a full-length album. Okay, and then they were going on a trip to Montreal to go play a show, and I'm born in Montreal. My family lives out there. So I said, okay, I'll tag along, and then I'll stick around, see some family. And then when watching them play and just seeing them and how they were doing it, it was like, really feel like they could use a rhythm guitar player, and it looks like a lot of fun up there. So I kind of just approached them and said, hey, what do you think about me joining as a rhythm guitar player? And nobody seemed to put up a fight, and now we're here.
Excellent. Love that. And you also have a new member. I'm trying to remember if we actually talked about this when I hit record for the second time, but you have a new lead guitarist, James, who was in Cannabis, correct? He's a new member of the band as well.
Yeah, and they're all these bands are all Black Throne bands, and we're kind of, I mean, all the bands are spread out. There's Barrie, there's Toronto, and then there's kind of Hamilton. So, yeah, James is over in the next town over from here, so that all made sense. We brought him on board because I said earlier the first rendition of the band broke up very quickly. So I had to search for guys. James came up, was a perfect fit. We live close to each other. Jonah, Santa Barbara is an old buddy of mine. We've been playing together for 20, 30 years. So he fit in perfect. And then Will. And yeah, we're all, the whole label is all incestuous. Everybody plays with everybody here and there, fills in here and there. All great friends. Black Throne, it's a cool label to be a part of. Yeah. Brian Hilton and Paul Bow and Zach, great guys.
When I bought the EP, the 10-inch EP, I swear somebody said to me that the band had broken up and this was their last release. Maybe I'm getting that wrong. But was that kind of what happened? And then you guys kind of, I guess Paco, you kind of brought it back together, or?
No, it's funny. That album's not even a year old, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think so, no.
So it was, thinking back, it's kind of funny. I didn't even have a band at that time. It was just me and a drummer at the time. Basically went into the sessions just kind of writing on the spot. I think I played all the guitar and all the bass. It was just me and a drummer. So it was kind of... And I kind of went out of the music business for about 10 years. So I was kind of just getting acclimated, getting back into it, trying to, piece together some songs, which thinking back now seems pretty crazy, but that's kind of how it went down. It was just me, a drummer, and Zach, the engineer, I guess. He just engineered that one. So, and it's 4 songs. It turned out okay. I'm still pretty happy with it. It was a good start.
Yeah.
Now here we are, full-length album, barely another year into it. So.
Yeah, it just messes with my alphabetizing my record collection because I don't know where to put it at this point. Do I put it under Pale Horse Ritual? Do I put it under the Pale Horse?
Yeah, that was a big mistake. It really caused a lot of trouble with all the digital platforms, and I don't even know if they're ever going to really match up now because it's kind of stuck in a different alphabet, right, or whatever, how that all works. But what can you do?
Yeah,
it happened. I like the new name. It fits better.
I like it. I like it too. I think Pale Horse is great too, but I feel like Pale Horse Ritual gives you kind of more of the vibe that goes with the songs on the new records for sure.
Yeah.
We've talked to a lot of Canadian bands, actually, right, Turbo? We've talked to a lot of the bands on Black Throne, like Sons of Arrakis and Ox. We've talked to Witch Rot as well, and I'm missing a couple. I think like 20% of our shows have been Canadian bands, which is weird. Like there's so much like talent up in Canada right now. What are bands that we are missing that we should know about that maybe you guys are playing with when you go on your tour, or ones that are around that that we should hear about also?
Well, I would say one of my favorite bands is actually James's band, our guitar player, Cannabis. You should really check out.
Yeah.
They rip. They're totally heavy, and they're a three-piece, young guys, and they're just super tight, ripping. Cannabis.
Yeah, I think their
They got a
last
new album coming out shortly too, as well.
I think their last one was last April, if I'm not mistaken. I think they had an
Yeah.
EP, and it was really really good. It actually was on my Doom charts list for April. Looking forward to hearing more what they had to do, and I didn't know that he joined you guys too, which is very very cool. Given how much I dug that EP then as well. So you mentioned the tour. Tell us what you guys are doing about your Canadian tour that you have coming up.
Well, we got 3 dates in September: Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal. That's really all we got, isn't it, right now?
Yeah, there's some other things in the works too. I think there might be a couple of October dates, maybe, and there might be sometime late December a date. But we're still ironing out the kinks for that. Dates for tours and stuff come and go like the wind sometimes. And just Friday, September 12th, we're playing in Montreal. That's going to be like a Rune Mountain 2.5 kind of event. And I mean, we got Death Wheelers, Ox, Mooch.
Love Mooch. That was the other band that we had on our show.
Mooch is one of my favorites, and they're the sweetest dudes too. Like, obviously, you guys know, having talked to them and stuff, but couldn't say enough great things about those guys. We'll have Clouds Taste Satanic as well from Buffalo,
New York City, another friend of the
New York
show.
City, yeah, right.
Yeah, he's been on as well.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple other bands I'm missing, but it's going to be a
Kato Gato.
I should be looking at the poster, but there's a lot of really sick bands playing. I'm really looking forward to that show as well.
Then we're doing the other dates are with the Clouds Taste Satanic.
Yes, I think Ottawa, Montreal, and Toronto. Yeah, they're all with Clouds Taste Satanic. So
That's awesome. That'll be quite the riff-filled evil show. Love it. Big Clouds fans. We had him on the show, and just super nice guy and very cool. We asked him why he hates lead singers, and he gave us some good answers to that. So it was good. So tell us about the vinyl. Now it looks like you have some pretty cool options. Were you guys involved in deciding what the records are going to look like, or was this kind of you get the splatter that splatters when it's created, or were you involved in the design of that too?
Ryan kind of gave us a few options. He just kind of went through. There's a local spot around here called Precision Record Pressing Plant, which I actually used to press records at back in the day when they first kind of got going.
Oh, cool.
And he went through their website and looked at all the different variants that they had, and he kind of narrowed it down to like, I don't know, like maybe 15. And then he said, okay, give me like your top 5. And then from the top 5, we narrowed it down to 2. And so yeah, it was a very a group effort when it came to deciding that stuff.
The options are very cool. I don't remember if I got Blood Demon or Morning Star, but it doesn't matter because both are awesome. But I also like how Ryan is calling the black one Black Flame, just to kind of make black vinyl actually exciting compared to the splatters that are right there for the people who don't want a bunch of color in their wax. But some very very cool options. Everyone should go and grab one because the record's awesome and they look really cool too. How about that artwork? Where'd that come from? The artist looks relatively familiar, and maybe it's someone who has done some other art that we've seen before. But where did that come from?
He's Deliria Vision, which I think he's from Chile.
I think
South
he did the
America.
Witch Rot. I think he did the Witch Rot cover, if I'm not mistaken.
He may have, definitely. You'll see him around in our genre. He just does it so well. We went through 2. He did a first take, and it looked a bit too similar, if I remember, to something else we had seen. So we asked him to change it up, And then boom, he comes back with that thing, and it was perfect because it fit the title of the album, like pagan ritual type looking thing, and which we're totally into. And yeah, man, his artwork, I'm a huge fan. We're
Yeah,
huge fans.
that is a killer cover, and I think I said told when we talked to Witchrot, same thing. Like their cover was right up there with kind of covers of the year, and it's just killer. You need some shirts with that on it, I think,
Yeah,
as well. Those would I think those would fly off the shelves. Very very cool.
and
What was that?
yeah, stuck with the purple again. Our love for Black Sabbath, maybe too much love, but
Is there such thing as too much love for Black Sabbath?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Turbo, what else do you
No.
have for the guys before I ask them the usual Canadian question that I'm going to ask them?
The video for Wickedness, was that your all's concept, or was it Blackthorn's?
That is a director called, his company is called Dark Sprite. And he immediately after that video just went MIA. So all I did was gave him a 10 bullet points of what we wanted. And that guy, I've been trying to make that video for 30 years. And that guy completely nailed it. It's perfect for the song. And now I can't find the guy.
Maybe he's a listener.
Fingers.
Maybe he's a
I was
listener
going to
of the
make
show.
10 more. I was going to make 10 more. And he just, I don't know. He
Artist.
just said, that's it.
Yeah.
So it's a little controversial. We had to tone it down. You should have seen the first take. It was insane. So we had to clean it up. And I'm still a bit worried it's a little too much for YouTube and this and that because I like that pushing the envelope. I'm kind of extreme that way. I like that,
Yeah.
And he took what I had in my brain and just did it perfectly. Super talented.
Yeah, it
Very
works
cool.
out really well.
Hopefully we can
And
find
the
him.
two of them are meshing together. Sometimes people make that video and the music and it doesn't quite connect, I think sometimes. But that one, yeah, man, I'm super happy with that thing.
Very cool. Turbo loves when I bring up the fact that I lived in Buffalo for 4 years and went to school there. This is
We
his
were just in
favorite.
Buffalo.
Oh really? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we live a half an hour from Buffalo.
Yeah. I used to, we used to go over the border, and when we were not quite 21, to do the things you do over the border when you're not quite 21. But I always ask the Canadian bands, given that I was there during the 90s, kind of mid 90s, listening to 102.1 and all the stuff there. Do you have any records from that time that Canadian bands that you still listen to, or that you would call out as something that you really enjoy? Or do you kind of stay on some of the classics back, the Sabbath stuff? Or is there anything that you would specifically say that you were listening to then that still kind of holds through the test of time?
Well, I'm probably close to your age or the same age as you. Honestly, I was always in underground music, so I wasn't really listening. I mean, I listened to it because that's all you really had back then. Didn't have to, but that was part of whatever. Was there any bands that I still listen to from that era? Maybe Big Sugar. Did you ever know him?
Yeah, great band.
Gordy
Yeah.
Johnson. He was okay. He was pretty cool. The Tea Party. Remember those guys?
Yeah,
Opened
I
up
was
for them a couple times.
just about to say the words "the Tea Party." I feel like, given some of the love of music that you have now, they might translate a little bit to at least the first two albums, maybe the third one, but the first two ones,
Yeah.
maybe you'd have some
It was just such a
fond
different
memories of.
time. It was a different time back then, really. It was, the underground bands that I liked were in Montreal. There was Grim Skunk, who's still around. I don't know if you know those guys. They're a great band. The Smalls from Alberta, who birthed Corby Lund, who's a big country star now. But yeah, it was always more underground stuff that I was into. And Will's wasn't even born yet.
I'm
Yeah,
very young.
the youngin.
That's kind of the cool thing about this band is two of the guys are, early 50s and the other guys are early 30s. So it's kind of a neat combination. But these guys, I swear, they're old souls because they know more about the 70s than I do.
I was just talking to Jonah, our drummer, about it, and like my first musical influences were Elvis and the Beatles, but that happened in like 1997, 1998. Like it didn't happen when everyone else, But I think that, like he was saying, I think that's where we kind of have happy ground. And honestly, when it comes to music, like there's no age limit to when you stop. There's no age limit. Like age is just a number. Like who gives a shit? Like so what? He's 54 and I'm 30. Like we connect on a musical plane, and we both have the same goal. We both want to make it heavy. We both want to make it interesting, and that's all that matters, really.
We need 30-year-olds who listen to Sabbath and listen to the Beatles and listen to those bands, because otherwise, it's going to go in a direction we don't want it to go in. I was just excited when the young guys in Mooch said, "Oh, I know the song called that from the band called." They have a song on their record that sounds like Sloan to me, and
Yeah.
they very much said the same thing I was thinking. So I'm like, okay, cool. At least I can connect with them, because I think those guys are a little bit closer to your age than our age in Mooch. So it was good to know that they knew a couple older Sloan songs. So awesome. So yeah, anything else you want to say about the record? I know we have a little bit of time before it drops. Are we going to see some more singles before, or are we just going to head right into the holiday time with some evil shit dropping from you guys?
We got two more singles coming out.
Yep. Before the record comes out. And yeah, that's dates. I can't remember what the exact dates are for those.
It's okay. Everyone should just follow Pale Horse Ritual and Bandcamp, and when it
Follow
drops,
us on Bandcamp,
they'll
Instagram,
get an email.
Spotify. You'll figure it all out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got two more songs. I did want to mention earlier when you were talking about how great the record sounded. A lot of that also does go to Zach from Z Hollow from Black Throne. He did master the record, and I mean, if we just released the final mixes, I think you guys would have been disappointed. Like, not to say they were bad, but he just took them to a whole nother level of like thickness and chewiness and grotesqueness that I think really helped. So I do want to give a big shout out to Zach for that.
Excellent.
Zach also made the very first EP with Zach.
Okay, yeah, I saw his name on the Bandcamp page there. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So excellent. So yeah.
So yeah, two more singles and two more videos are coming for the official release in November. So
Are these videos from the guy who's disappeared, or are these different videos?
no,
If he calls us, yeah.
I had to find the next sickest guy in line that could understand my sick mind.
I'm pretty sure you wouldn't let it get out there if it didn't match up with what your vision is. So
Yeah, well now the bar is there, so I gotta stay there. So yeah, it's gonna be tough.
guys, thank you. This has been awesome. I know we had a bit of a false start. Appreciate you hanging in there with us. For you guys listening, go check out the single that's out now. Listen to Pale Horse Ritual. The new record's called Diabolic Formation. The vinyl drops on November 28th, same as the whole thing. The whole thing is November 28th from what I understand. So a little bit of time. But if you want to get people the most evil holiday present you can get one of these for them. In Blood Demon would be my suggestion. But I can imagine this being in our top 10 for sure albums of the year for both of us if we're looking at just in general the way the songs sound, the vocals, the guitar work, the tone of it, the lyrics. Just can't say enough about it, and that's why I had to reach out to Ryan when we heard the initial single, and we're like, got to talk to these guys. So thank you for coming and talking to us.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind words, and we really appreciate all of the opportunity with this as well.
Absolutely. Come back and talk to us again. And good luck with this. Good luck with your shows. And
Yeah.
thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. And I just want all of our listeners to go check out what you can from these guys because Pale Horse Ritual is a name you're going to hear from us a lot. So thank you, guys, and have a great rest
That's
of your
awesome.
night.
Thanks. You too.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Ciao. You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks.